Do you know about financial literacy? Each and every month, American Eagle Credit Union has agreed to be our financial guru, and they're going to come on the show and talk about all the things we need to know about our money and getting in, using it right, using credit correctly. Per Alsup is our guest, Chief Marketing and Community Relations Officer for American Eagle Credit Union, and a longtime friend and a great friend of the show. Per, welcome back, Big 550 KTRS.
Thank you. Good
All
to
right,
see you.
we're talking about credit card debt today and credit cards.
Yes.
All right, what do we know about credit card debt? How bad is it out there?
Let's talk about in 2017, credit card debt obviously climbed, and it's for probably $900 billion in credit card debt. Mm-hmm. So we know that 3 out of 4 adults have at least one credit card, and the average household probably has 3.7, the average person. And the average credit amount is about $15,000.
The average person has 3.7 credit cards?
I don't know about the 0.7, but that's what they say.
Right. So it's 3 or 4 credit cards per person.
Go. Yes.
That's department stores, that's gas cards, that's
your Visa,
banks
your
and Visa and
whatever.
everything else.
Exactly.
It seems like a lot.
That does.
Now, there's all sorts of credit cards out there.
Yes.
What are the good kinds? What are the bad kinds? What should we avoid?
So I think the first thing when you're talking about a credit card is to determine what your lifestyle is. And then also about what do you use it for and how you pay your bills. So if you do a lot with, let's say you use your card for groceries. So you may want to look for a card that offers you cash back for groceries. Or
Right.
if you travel, you may want to look for a card that offers travel points or hotel points. Or if you just use it for regular purchases, you might want to just get a flat rate card.
Right.
And then you want to say to yourself, okay, I know what kind of card I want, but how do I pay? Do I pay off my balances right away? And if you do, then you don't have to worry about the rates, right?
Well, that's the thing. Somebody told me never put meals on your credit card because you don't want to finance the sandwich you have today for the next 6 months.
Particularly if you are not one of those people that pay it off right away and you use the grace period and you pay the minimum and all that. You don't want to do that. If you're the kind of person that the minute you get that, you pay it off, then
Right.
interest rates are not really important. But if you're one of those, which there are a lot of consumers that do, say, I need to just pay the minimum.
Right.
So then you want to look for and make sure you have something with a really good rate.
Right. Credit card companies want you to pay the minimum, and they want you to pay the late fee. Right? That's
Yes,
where they
do.
make
That's
their
how
money.
they make their money.
Right.
Can you negotiate with a credit card company
Good
to
question.
lower your interest rates?
Some people you can. Some institutions will call and say, hey, I can get this better rate here. I'm a longtime member. Can you help me out? And so there are some places where they will listen to you, particularly if you've been a good customer and they don't want to lose you. They may do that. It varies.
Pierre Alsup with us from American Eagle Credit Union. Let's talk about balance transfers because Christmas is over with. We overspent. We got this $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 on our credit cards. Now we don't want to pay the interest rate. Now we get this other card that says, hey, transfer it over here, 0% for the next 6 months.
Exactly.
What do we watch out for?
So the concept of balance transfer is great. So the idea is that you're going to take all those high balance credit cards, move them to a low balance, and your rate's lower, and everything's perfect. So that makes a lot of sense. But what you want to make sure is that you look at it to make sure there's no fees. Because sometimes you may see a promotional fee for 0% on a balance transfer promotion, but there's a fee, a balance transfer fee. So like 3 or 5% or whatever that is. So let's just say you had $5,000 and on your card you were transferring and they said, hey, we'll give you 0%, but we're probably going to have a balance transfer fee, 3 to 5%, whatever. So let's just say right up front, you're having to pay $200 right away for that balance transfer fee.
So you're not, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
There you go.
You're not helping yourself.
So you need to be smart because then there may be another card that has a lower fee or lower rate, but doesn't have a fee at all for balance transfer. So here you were paying $200 on this one that has this balance transfer fee, but then you have this one that has no balance transfer fee. So it's almost half. So while 0% sounds really great, you have to be an educated consumer, if that makes sense, to make sure you're not,
all of these TV commercials about Cashback and how wonderful it is. How much, are we talking cents? Is it any real money? Is it worth your while?
I think It is. You just have to look at the whole card. So, as we talked earlier, if you do a lot of travel, so maybe a card that allows you to have points or even cash back on that is a good thing.
Right.
You just have to also not just look at that promotional offer or that promotional thing, the points, but also what's the minimum I have to pay, what's the grace period, do I have fees on cash advances, do I have fees on balance transfer? You just have to, I keep saying you just have to be an educator. You have to read between the lines.
What about some of these department stores, electronic stores that say, hey, 12 months, same as cash, 24 months, same as cash? I know that if you ever missed a payment, the interest starts from the day you take the thing out of the store.
Right.
So be careful.
You need to be careful. You need to be mindful of that. All those are attractive offers, but sometimes it just makes more sense is to use the card that you have for the purchase. And if it's a good rate and it's no fees, sometimes it's better just to use that card and not take advantage of all these special things. Because if you miss one day, if you're one day late, if the grace period is not very attractive, then you end up in the end paying more.
Credit cards can be useful, but you need to know how to use them.
You need to know how to use them. You have to be an educated consumer, and they're good. I mean, because having credit is not a bad thing.
Per, all of this and more is on your website, American Eagle Credit Union, right? Because you guys are dedicated to financial literacy.
Yes, we are. It's ameaglescu.org, and you can find lots of information, not just about our credit cards, but also we have a lot of financial literacy education information there about debt and figuring out your budget. And do I need a mortgage loan? Should I get a car? Should I purchase or lease? We have a lot of things out there from an informational, educational source.
ameaglescu.org. Per, thanks for coming in. Good stuff.